Welcome to the Motocross Supercross podcast.
And we're back. This time we are breaking down the 250s of round 5 in Muddy Creek, Blountville, Tennessee. I'm Adam here with Claudio. What's up, Claudio?
Hell of a weekend, dude. We were all wrong about everything and crazy results.
The moon or something was in like retrograde or something. And that's the only thing that explains what happened this weekend, because just the results were insane. Obviously, the big news being Jeremy Martin's crazy freak accident injury.
Yeah.
It was insane. The weather actually ended up, it looked like practice was like pretty cloudy and stuff, but then whenever the races started, it was like a perfect day, but something just seemed off the whole weekend. It seemed like the announcers weren't really into it as hardcore as they usually have been this year, and it was just a weird race. The riders, they just don't like this track. It just seemed like a dream almost, like the whole weekend.
It was definitely very interesting. Yeah, like you were saying, just like nothing was really like fitting, like nothing just felt right, you know, like about the whole weekend. It was just off. The races, the announcers, like you just said.
It's that Blountville haze or something.
Yeah, man, it was just,
they went a little too crazy from Colorado to High Point to Blountville. They just need to relax a little bit, just cool it.
I think that's probably the problem. They relax too much with all this, you know, references and stuff. But yeah, it was a very intense weekend. A lot of stuff happened. A lot of crazy results for first, second, and third place, which we'll get into in a minute. You mentioned Jeremy Martin.
We gotta start with Jeremy Martin.
Well, okay, we'll start with Jeremy Martin. Geico Honda's Jeremy Martin. He went down really, really hard in the second moto, and he got together with Justin Cooper, and he ended up getting swinged, like just crazy swinged away. If you haven't seen it, we have one of the videos that's out there on our Instagram at the MXSX podcast. Well, according to sources, Jeremy Martin is fully responsive and full movement when he was on his way to the hospital, which is really, really great news.
They didn't show a replay or anything of it on the broadcast. They only had one camera, and it cut to him on the ground. And this is where I started having PTSD, because it looked like Ryan Shazier from the Pittsburgh Steelers all over again during that Cincinnati game. Like, he's on his side. It looked like he was like rubbing kind of his lower back. And I was just like, and you didn't see his legs move at all. And they had the camera like on him for like what seemed like a really long time. So we're all just like, oh crap, not good, not good. So the whole rest of that race, it was just like, what? Like, what is going on?
You text me and I was like, yeah, man, crazy. You're like, dude, he's not moving his legs. And I thought the same thing. I was like, oh man.
But that's just me. I'm just a big pessimist when it comes to that, because every time I see a crash like that, I always just think it's the worst. Apparently, he is moving his limbs. He did suffer a burst fracture, which I'm no doctor, but a burst fracture of the L1, so lower in his back. But whenever I was just like kind of looking it up online, the burst fracture, it was just like whenever the vertebrae like breaks like into pieces and goes into the like tissue and stuff. That's what they call burst fracture. They say it's kind of common, but it's also like more severe than a compression fracture. And so what happened was, if you go to our Instagram, we have like it's kind of hard to see everything without like a high quality camera and stuff and having to zoom in so far. But he gets with Justin Cooper in the air, and then he comes up a little short on the jump, and then it just bounces him over the landing, like onto just a flat surface. And he kind of lands like going backwards in like a sitting position. It was just he just super got ragdolled. He flew so far.
It was odd. It was just an odd crash. Just the whole thing, from how he like got launched off to where he landed, how he landed, what he hit. But, you know, fortunate enough, he's doing good. You know, he like we mentioned, he's moving. All his limbs are there. And lower back injuries are not joke, bro.
Well, not even just lower back. This is a spinal cord injury. Like, he's either in surgery now or he's probably done already, but having his spine stabilized. Yeah, it's a super serious injury.
It says right here he's gonna go see a neurosurgeon specialist this morning. So
yeah, no, he was having surgery this morning.
Is that right? Surgery. Okay. Yeah. So that's
they got to stabilize that spine, but this is most likely a career ender, though, not just the season ender. I think it's a very serious injury. I don't know.
For sure. I'm 100% with you. And it's unfortunate, that it happened to him or to anyone, but to him especially because, he was on his way to probably clinch the title, which leaves another door wide open. It just makes it way crazier out here.
It's not good for the sport when the best guy gets hurt.
Both of the best guys, because we have Osborne out too.
Well, and Anderson. But, I mean, just like the severity of this injury, the spinal cord injury. Yeah, I was looking at videos online of just a couple things that came up, and it was just like, oh, the same exact injury, L1 burst fracture. Like, oh, here he is a year. Look at him walk. He can walk now. They're like, oh, geez. Like, dang.
Yeah, that's insane, man. We really, all our prayers go to him and the whole, the Geico Honda team. It just sucks. It sucks to have that in our sport and to have it to one of the top guys or to anyone, not just a top guy, just to anyone. It's going to be a big process to recoup from this, and it actually kind of brings down the mood of this. I don't know if it's the series or the show or something, but it's a very serious subject for sure.
And just when it happens to the top guy, it's just a constant reminder, like, yo, any single person out there, when they line up, they know what could happen to them, especially when it happens to the best guy. But the crash almost reminded me of last week when Jordan Bailey landed in the sitting position kind of thing. He could have ended up with the same kind of injury.
Yeah, Bailey got really lucky last week for sure.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of gear protection that even can help against that.
Kidney belt.
A Tempur-Pedic butt plate.
A kidney belt. Old school.
Yeah, but I don't know. I have no idea.
But in all seriousness, our prayers go to him and his family, the Martin family, and we hope to hear very good news later on this week. And of course, we'll keep you guys updated.
Yep, it's definitely a story we're going to be following, as we've been following the Nitro Circus rider, Phil Smage. He actually just got out of the hospital. I think he's day 30 or something.
Yeah.
So he's just getting out of the hospital. And now we got another rider going in the hospital, and you can expect the same kind of recovery, rehab. It's a long process. I read online, I want to say one of those websites, the diagnosis is roughly 2 months. I'm like, what? 2 months recovery? I don't know. I'm just not that optimistic on it. I don't think it's going to be any less than 2 or 3 months.
Yeah. These kind of injuries are no joke, man. The other side of the coin right here, we have Justin Cooper, which was, I don't want to say it was a guy that got together with Jeremy Martin, but
the helmet cam video that they played in the broadcast of Jeremy Martin, he comes over the jump and Justin Cooper pulls a tear off and kind of looks over at him. Then he's just like, oh crap, he's coming right at me.
I don't know, but I felt like I saw his face, his eyes got really big, and he's saying, oh crap.
It definitely can't be Justin Cooper's fault at all, because Justin Cooper was ahead of him,
No, I don't think it's anyone's fault. At the end of the day, we're all racing. And you can actually see Justin Cooper actually trying to move away, but you're in the air. There's nothing really you can do.
Can't beat physics.
Yeah, exactly. So this is something that Justin Cooper says. He said first moto place second place, and second moto had a freak racing accident on the first lap. Really such a bummer for the both of us, and it isn't an easy pill to swallow here in the news of Jeremy Martin. Wish him a speedy recovery, and somehow everyone was able to avoid me, which I'm extremely thankful for. And man, I'm extremely sore today, but thankful for my support crew. Some things you just can't prevent when there are so many riders in such a tight space.
Justin Cooper was the fastest qualifier too, by 2 seconds. So.
I know. I was super stoked when I saw that, because I have a little bit of faith in the kid.
The results were, he didn't pull any hole shots this week though. No hole shots. Plessinger got the first one, and Alex Martin got the second one. It was just crazy weekend. It was just it didn't go like any weekend has gone so far, but it was good for local boy, Shane McElrath. I don't even know what to call him anymore. All the announcers call him McElrath, and then they talk to Alex Martin. He's like, McElrath. I was like, oh.
They're just trying to be all fancy about it.
You don't even know anymore. So you just kind of just go with whatever. Nobody even cares. But yeah, really good race for him. he somehow managed to stay consistent throughout the day when nobody else did.
Yeah, Shane ended up getting the overall with a third and a second. Dylan Ferrandis got second place with an 11 and a first.
Drinking that beer, too.
Oh, yeah, he chugged that beer right there in the podium.
I think it was a PBR. I was trying to zoom in and see what it was. I was like, maybe Coors or PBR? I was like, oh, that's what's up. Or it's probably some French beer he brought.
It's like, oh, merci beaucoup. But, yeah, Chase Sexton got third with an 8th and a 4th. Yeah, it's crazy. Alex Martin got 12th and 3rd. Alex Martin, another one that had a lot of problems in that first moto.
Dude, he's had problems every moto. Well, both motos this weekend in Tennessee, and then both motos last weekend in High Point. He crashed every moto. But in this first moto, on that uphill triple thing, he almost went off the track, rode through the little plastic cone or whatever it was.
Yeah, good thing those things are plastic, man.
It kind of looked like one of those like wet floor signs they put out. It kind of looked like one of those. He just like blew through it and then got past. So that was his first mistake in the first moto. And then also in the first moto, he like got pitched over the front of the bike, like on one of the face of the jumps, and just like went over.
He trying to like wave to everyone. Like he was just like, hey, I fell like, right here. And he's like in the middle of the track, like putting his arms up and stuff. Like, what do you expect people to do? Just like, stop? I don't know. But he got lucky as well.
Dude, that seems to be his move, getting like pitched off, because that happened to him last week. And then he also high-sided in the second moto and got pitched over the front of that. It was just, he was frustrated at that point. You could see him like holding his fist up or something. Like he was just upset, and he should be. It's so weird. He got pitched off like 3 times in 4 motos. Yeah, so that was Alex Martin's problems there. He just couldn't stay consistent. Kind of had problems all day. Just 7th fastest in the qualifying, which I think we all expected a little more from him, but the competition was a little insane this week. It was just people all over the place.
It's just off. Jeremy Martin managed to still get 9th, even though he DNF'd that second moto, and that's also insane.
Yeah, he only lost a couple points. Like, he's still in it.
It kind of sucks because it opens a huge gap for Aaron Plessinger in the overall points in the standings, I should say. He sits in first place with 199 points, and then Jeremy Martin's in second, but, obviously he'll be out for the rest of the season. Alex Martin's in third place with 170 points. So he's only, 29 points behind? That's still a lot of points, man. Or 19.
Well, Alex Martin, too, he has the speed. He's getting good starts. He's just having problems just putting it all together.
Just got to stay on that bike. It's about consistency and being smooth and, just staying healthy, man. Yeah,
so that first moto, Alex Martin led 3 of the laps. Aaron Plessinger actually got the whole shot that race, and then he fell like a couple corners later. And then Alex Martin just took over. Sucks for Aaron Plessinger. Does. But it did make it a little exciting. It really, they were talking about on the broadcast, like, oh, everyone kind of left this race the same way they came in, even how crazy it was. Yeah, and then in that second race, Alex Martin led 16 of the laps. And then Dylan Ferrandis got the last 2. So it was just like, he's just so close. It was like Jeremy Martin is hurt. We don't know how bad he's hurt. And then Alex Martin looks like he's going to win. And it was just like, whoa, it's like the worst day for one and the best day for the other one. But it ended up still being a decent day for Alex Martin. But it was just crazy how the spectrum was like super bad and then super good.
Yeah, Alex Martin, though, I feel like from now on, he's going to definitely step it up, and he's gonna definitely work on those little mistakes he's been making the last couple of weeks, and he's gonna be a contender, or try to be a contender to Aaron Plessinger in the championship.
Oh man, I hope that happens. That'd be a good story for the sport. Brother gets hurt, brother steps up, and battles it out to win the championship. I mean, that could be a cool story. I would cheer for that.
I feel like exactly like he'll do it for his brother type thing, just for keep it up for the Martin family type thing. So I think he's gonna do way better, and from now on he's gonna be more focused, and I still can't believe the whole Jeremy Martin thing.
Crazy! It's just it is insane. It is kind of hard to think about like that. Who else was back this weekend? We saw Jimmy Dakotas back. He did a little interview with Transworld after the race, kind of saying that he just wasn't, 100%, wasn't riding where he needed to ride. He ended up going 23rd and 14 for 15th overall. So not the greatest finish for him. RJ was doing awesome. In the first race, he got 4th, but in the second race, he got 19th. But during that second moto, he was running like top 5, I want to say, until he apparently had a crash. And apparently it was a pretty crazy crash, because on his Instagram, he was saying how he hopes he's going to be able to ride Southwick. Like, whoa, like, must have got pretty jacked up there.
I don't think he's that bad. He posted in his Instagram a video of, the whole like cryotherapy plays, and then he's back here in Florida. So I don't think he'll be missing the next round.
Good. Fingers crossed, because he finally looked like he was turning things around. He was right up there. He did make a couple mistakes, but once he had good starts, so he was able to, he could afford it,
Mm-hmm. He looked good though. He was up front in the first moto as well, so he was running 3rd, I believe. And just those couple of mistakes just cost him, and that's what it is. And we go back to just being consistent, just staying healthy.
I tried to see if there was any video of him crashing. Nothing in the broadcast though, so hopefully it's not too bad.
No, we'll find something and we'll post it on our Instagram at the MXSX podcast for sure.
Another person to talk about is Michael Mosman. He kind of posted a lot. I think he was pretty happy with how his weekend went. He ended up 13th overall, going 14 and 10th. But he said he also crashed in that second moto that he got 10th in. I'll let him describe what happened.
I don't know what I ended up overall, but I went 14-10, and I crashed second moto. Cantrell, he crashed in front of me, and he crashed in front of Savacci. I was behind Savacci, and he popped up and kind of did one of these, and I ran right into him. I had nowhere to go. We both chose the wrong direction, and so 10th with the crash was good, and had a little battle with Fortner towards the end. So it was all in all. It was.
That's funny. When he says like we did one of these, he's like with his arms, like it was like they were both trying to like decide which way to go to not hit each other, and then they both went the same way. And Cantrell, he had a pretty decent weekend too. He was running up there for a little bit. It sounds like he did have some problems in that second moto as well with Savacci or whatever would happen to them. So it was just an odd weekend for everyone. It was like nobody could put two motos together. Everyone was all over the race in this 250 class. Yeah,
the only one I want to say, the only one that was consistent, or quote unquote, was Shane McElrath. Man, he was the only one that got like a result that might give you a first place, like that a third and a second. Everybody else was just like Ferrandis 11-1, Plessinger 9-5. Forkner 5th and
Sexton 8-4.
yeah. Sexton 8 and 4th. Cooper 2nd and 28th. Hampshire 4th and 19th. McAdoo 13 and 8th. So
Alex Martin 12 and 3.
Yeah, so it's just crazy.
Yeah, McElrath, it was really good for him. That's his first overall win.
Yep.
So really awesome for him. He gets to do it in front of kind of the home crowd. Gets 42 points out of it. Could this be like the start of Shane McElrath's uprising?
I wouldn't say no. He's good, man. He's a good rider. He's fast, and with the unfortunate injuries that we had, this leaves him a good open gap. He's sitting in sixth place right now, so I don't see why not.
Yeah, he's sitting in 6th in the points, but he's also 66 points behind Plessinger. So that's kind of a big gap going into week 6, round 6.
I didn't say champion. I said contender. This could gives him a turnaround. He got his first win. It gives him a little bit of not hope, but just
he definitely has a fighting chance. And it only helps him that Jeremy Martin's out. He's going to be coming into Southwick with a win, maybe some extra confidence, a little less competition. I don't know, he could turn things around. Maybe we could see him knock out a bunch of podiums over the next couple weeks.
Yeah. We're just past the halfway mark of the we're about to be at the halfway mark of the championship, and there's still 6 races to go. 12 motos. So.
Someone who we haven't talked about yet is Austin Forkner, and he was saying the weekend didn't really go as planned. Decent ride the first moto, and a fall in the second moto made it hard. Was definitely a chaotic race with a lot of guys going down. So glad to get out safe onto the Wick.
Yeah, see, so everyone's just thankful to make it alive out of Tennessee. So
another rider who couldn't put 2 motos together. So Austin Forkner ended up 8th overall. He got 5th and 9th. Justin Cooper, when Justin Cooper went down, he only got up to 28th place, so he didn't even score any points that second moto.
Yeah, no points.
But he got 2nd in that first race, so he still got 22 points total. Just crazy, man. Everyone is all over the place. Jordan Bailey went 16 and 14th, so not his best ride. Obviously having his problems last week, so at least he's out there riding. Colt Nichols making his return to the racing scene in a minute, but he said, first outdoor of the season, definitely not the results I'm reaching for, but live to fight another day. First moto was a solid finish, then a crash in the second moto took it out of me. I had a blast just being back at the races and getting into the groove of things. Can't wait for next weekend. Again, did everybody crash or?
Pretty much. Joey Savacci, I think, stayed up.
Yeah, Joey Savacci, but, not his best ride. He got 6th in the first moto, 7th in the second moto, only for a 6th overall. Consistent, though. He is one of the few consistent riders. Jordan Smith, too, going 7th and 6th, so those 2 swapping positions. That's about as consistent as it gets besides first place, 3 and 2. Yeah, it was just a little crazy weekend for everyone. Definitely this 250 class, it was just insane. I don't know if it was the lunar cycles, I think going into like Cancer or something now. I don't know what it was, bro. Something was happening. And it was just a weird weekend. And I guess sometimes you just get some of those.
Yeah. Weird weekend. Don't forget to tune in to the next podcast. We will recap the 450 class. And we'll have some good stuff there for sure.
Peace. Thanks for listening.
Peace.